How's it going? I have been working a lot, and so I've been painting less, and working on my stories less. I have made quite a few, and I actually have quite a few videos recorded, and some of them even edited. I just don't have like audio for all of them, and I need to get back on that, so I'm working on it. But in the meantime, this is actually a prompt from the Discord server that I'm on. It's a dark arts studio, and they have a couple different channels with a couple different types of prompts. And this one was famous paintings by the old masters, and then like a famous cat. Obviously, I hope it's obvious. This is the Pink Panther, and in the place of the Birth of Venus. I left out the additional figures because I wanted to, and this was strictly for fun. So I've always avoided doing like silly pieces or certain prompts like this, except for like a short period. I did do some art challenges, but everyone on that particular channel, it was back on Facebook way back in the day, like 15 years ago. And it was art challenges, but they were a little bit more serious. And on this server, they tend to be a little sillier. There are serious ones and sillier ones and more ridiculous ones and more limited and more unlimited, but there's just a wide range of different kinds of prompts. And this one has been one of my favorites, not just because this piece that I did was really fun, and I really enjoyed working on it, and I really loved how it came out. I hope that you love it as well. But everybody else's pieces so far have been spectacular. Every single one has been just joy. It brings me so much joy. And I'm hoping that a lot more people do it, because there've only been a handful of people who completed the challenge so far. But I think I just need sillier stuff in my life. I think that I need to not be so serious and have more fun. And this is definitely a challenge that was just fun. It was so fun. I've avoided, like, I don't know how many other artists have done this. I think most of the people who watch my channel are artists or artist adjacent. But I've always avoided like fan art type stuff, and I avoided doing characters like the Pink Panther, and unless it was for like a school project, remaking any kind of like old painting. Like I might mimic somebody's style to try and like get something to get an effect that I want, but like never like whole characters or whole paintings or anything like that. And I think that in the back of my head, I got this idea that like everything has to be 100% from my head, like no reference, no this, no that. And of course, you know, I've been to art school and I've been doing this my whole life. Reference is really important. I don't care who you are. Like, depending on the kind of art that you do, reference is always really important. And it's not a matter of copying. It's being able to be like, okay, the light looks like this against this, or the fur looks like it allows you to put together pieces and make it look more like you want it to, right? But I avoided doing it because some stupid immature part of my brain is like, you don't want to make that. Like, you want to do everything original. And you know what? I'm too old for that. I want to have a little fun. And this was so much fun. So this is gouache, and I usually use gouache. I don't know. I got to go in and try and kind of mimic the style and the look of like a master's painting, which they're all oil, right? That's part of what I like about gouache, is that it's the designer gouache, the water soluble, specifically, is because I can mix it forever. Like, a lot of people use oil paint and it takes forever to dry, but it allows you to blend and mix and layer in a way that other paints don't allow you to do that. And gouache does not function like oil. Don't mistake me when I say that. And it's easy to get it muddy, but it allows me to kind of like blend and rework and mix in a way that like you can't with like an acrylic or a paint that dries completely once it dries. I don't know. It was just a lot of fun. And I think, I don't know, maybe I'll be posting some more of the prompted pieces that I work on there. I try to separate things so that not everything I make I am posting or making a video for, because I still want to do things just for me. But a lot of those things, like recently I did a bead tapestry. And maybe I'll post a photo of it, maybe I won't. I plan on working on other bead tapestries. But this one was specifically based off a pattern, and I got it from a seller on Etsy. And the bead tapestry, it's very like cross stitch. I don't know if any of you have done cross stitching or are familiar with it, but it's very like cross stitch, and that it's basically a pixelated image broken down into little tiny stitches. And so it looks just like a cross stitch pattern, but it's for beads. And I am tickled pink with how that turned out. Here, I'll just show you real quick. This is my bead tapestry. See here, bead tapestry. Yeah, and I spent about 3 weeks working on that, and that's not something that I recorded. That's just something I did for me. And oh man, I know that it's tedious. I know that it looks tedious to do, but it relieved my anxiety in a way that I didn't know my anxiety could be relieved. Because it really is like like in this particular case, I was following a pattern that somebody else had made, and I was just kind of counting and keeping track of beads, and then I was placing the beads and threading the beads and then laying them over and then threading them again and then doing the whole process and, you know, stitching the thread into the beads and then using new thread. And it was just kind of a really meditative process. Like I had to focus because it was a lot of counting. So my mind couldn't like wander and make me spiral and panic like it normally does. I'm a panicker. I panic about everything. And if my brain can't figure out what to panic about, it just makes stuff up. Like, I don't know, aliens or the impending nuclear war that may or may not be facing all of the world in the next 50 years. Who knows? But my brain will make something up. And I haven't done like a ton of cross stitching or the beadwork. I used to do it a lot when I was younger. But now that I've gotten older and my anxiety's worse, I was like, let's try this again. And it was so good. It was so good. I actually have started work on a new bead tapestry, and it's based on a Gustav Klimt piece, and it's the portrait of Adele Bloch. I'm not sure how to say her name. It's really beautiful, and I like Klimt's work, and it's actually a cross-stitch pattern that I had for a while, and after doing the bead tapestry, I was like, no, I'm doing this in bead. And I've actually started working on a pattern, like a custom pattern, to make my own bead tapestry from beginning to end. So like I'm actually working in Procreate on my own tapestry patterns so that I can start making my own, because painting has always been like my passion and I'm going to keep doing that. But doing something about doing the bead tapestry allows my brain to kind of shut down and relax. So I've decided to keep doing that and maybe make my own patterns. Anyway, all this to say, I think it's important to do stuff like this to give your brain a break. It gave my brain a break, and it was a lot of fun to do, and I really hope you like it because this was thrilling for me, and I think it's silly and fun, and I love it. And I know this isn't like my normal story video, but it was nice talking to you all. So I hope everyone has a good weekend, and I hope to see you at my next video. Bye, guys.